What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lions Nation Unite. I'm Spencer Raxter. He is SpeakEZ Sports with the Woodward Heavyweights. And, of course, the man who needs no introduction, Dose of Dion. Joining us as well today here on Lions Nation Unite. It's a channel started by Herman Moore and CZ, and they're trying to bring Lions content creators together to have a good time. So make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends. And obviously, there's one thing we got to talk about, and that is the Lions taking on the Vikings, the battle for the NFC 1 seed, the battle for the NFC North on Sunday Night Football. But before we get into that, how you doing, gentlemen?
Doing great, man. Been waiting for this day all week. I had a near-death experience this week,
did.
And in that moment, I stopped and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss the game on Sunday. I can't die. I gotta watch this game on Sunday." And now we're alive. We made it. I'm conscious so far. You still gotta make it to 8:30, but we are here, and I'm happy for that. I'm grateful for that.
Wait, hold up. I gotta know this. What happened? Is this legit?
It is legit.
It's legit.
Oh, snap!
But it's a story for another day. I made
not for the
wait till I'm the heavyweight this week.
Okay.
I don't know what you rated.
Yeah, it's probably not. If you had to ask the question, it's probably not. It's probably not. Yeah, this might be the last show. You know what I mean? But no, man, I'm good too, man. I want to hear the story though.
Wait. What are you putting
I'm
down?
good. I don't know. You're the one that you dangled it out there easy, and then you just did nothing with it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I got to ask the question. What are you talking about? We'll find out. It'll be leaked.
What's up, Lisa? What's up, Antonio, PK, everybody in the chat? Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe. Again, I am Spencer Raxter. He is SpeakEZ. We're the Woodward Heavyweights, and you guys know the godfather of Detroit Lions YouTube, Dose of Dion, on with us as well. All right, let's get into it. Lions, Vikings, the fate of the NFC North, the fate of the NFC 1 seed on the line in Ford Field. And first things first, a little bit of breaking news. Alex Anzalone is active for this game. Thor has returned. He said, "Bring me the Vikings." Thor is here. It is huge to have some backup like that. It is huge to have a guy who was your captain, a guy who was the leader of that defense going forward. We'll start with you, Dion. What do you expect out of Alex Anzalone's return, and what does this mean for the team?
Yeah, I think he's going to play a lot. I mean, like, it's all, I think it's going to be massive. The two moves that they had yesterday with him and Khalif, this is like the game for that. Like, I feel like if they come back last week and let's just say they're in the same spot health-wise, I don't think it matches up the same. I think it's different with Minnesota. And those two guys were massive last time they played this team. I think the Vikings do suck, so we can keep showing that off. Look, man, look, I'm confident. You know what I mean? I think we got a Vikings fan. I'm confident. I'm feeling real good after watching that last game. Y'all beat Green Bay, but it wasn't pretty. I'll be honest. It wasn't pretty. Y'all both are trash. That's how I feel right now. But the thing is, man, Alex Anzalone's going to be massive. You know what I mean? He's like, last time we played this team, there was no TJ Hockenson. And we know we're going to want to play man. We're going to want to keep two deep safeties different than most opponents. Alex is going to see some Hockenson one-on-one. Fired up for that. And number two, if you look at our linebacker room, who plays the best? Extremely fast. Like, who's the guy that plays really fast? That's Alex Anzalone. And this is the perfect game to do that because, to me, it always does start with stopping the run, even with all these weapons. So I think he's the perfect piece to get back for this game. And I think because I don't know about you guys, but I felt like during the week it was like, oh, he's not going to play Sunday. Then all of a sudden to get him activated, I was a little surprised. So I think a lot of that's matchup reliant. They know how big he is for this one.
Yeah, I agree. And shout out, Vikings suck. You want the merch, go to LionsNationUnite.com. They got Vikings, Packers, Bears, a bunch of different branding. They got the Sonic and Knuckles, the Seek and Destroy. So whatever you need, go check it out on LionsNationUnite.com. All the merch you need. I wear the Vikings suck shirt because obviously the Vikings suck, and we're going to belt to ass the Vikings at 8:30 tonight. Easy. Anzalone, he's back. What does Thor's return mean?
Man, besides from the talent discrepancy between a guy we've literally picked up off the streets like 3 weeks ago, no disrespect to Ezekiel Turner, but there's also, just like Dion said, like, he's fast. And the reason why it's fast because he knows this defense well. He's been in the NFL for a long time. He's been very active in the NFL for a long time. I think it's just the mind between the ears, having that out there. He used to be the guy that called the defense before Jack Campbell stepped up to the plate, and have another one of those minds out there on the field. I think it actually could be huge, especially in stopping these tight ends that have been just killing us this past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I agree. And you saw it against the 49ers. They used a lot of rub routes, a lot of screens to try to get guys open. And when Anzalone's back there directing the defense and making calls and making switches, they're not going to get beat with that as bad because, like you said, he has extremely high football IQ. He's going to know where guys need to break off on who, and he'll be back there directing some traffic. So that is an extremely important factor for him being back in this game. On top of that, Khalif Raymond also returned. Khalif Raymond, you got him back. We saw him basically single-handedly win the Lions a game from his special teams prowess, getting the Lions inside opposing territory every single time they took the ball. So how big of an impact do you expect him to make? I mean, we got to force him to punt if we want to see that impact, but Khalif Raymond being back in this game is huge. Easy, he's your brother, Island boys, you guys share some kind of relation. What is Khalif Raymond going to do in this one?
I think it's going to be a huge return game. I can't even remember. I mean, I remember Reese Alexander was back there, but I can't remember any specific returns other than that first game for Alexander where I was like, damn. With Khalif Raymond has literally been at the Pro Bowl level of kick returners. So, and punt returning as well, too. And I just think for gadget plays as well offensively, it's another guy that Jared Goff could rely on, a guy that's been within the system for multiple years now. Like when you know the system that well and you're playing this team, this Brian Flores team 2 years now, like where you can get yours. And Khalif Raymond's very much part of that platoon.
Dion, how you feeling about Leafs return?
Yeah, I mean, y'all hit on the special teams. I didn't know he was averaging 14.5 yards per return. Like, he's one of the best numbers-wise this year when he's been out there. But offensively, like, he was key in this last game. We'll get – Khalif's one of those guys where it's like there's a lot of games you won't hear from him at all. But then there's a certain matchup where you're like, wait a minute, this guy's impactful. And he cooked Stephon Gilmore 3 times, scored a touchdown, 3rd and 14 conversion. That's a better matchup to me this week than, say, a guy like Tim Patrick. Like, I love me some Tim Patrick, but I think when you look at how Minnesota plays, when you look at Shaq Griffin kicking out wide and you had to put Byron in the slot – Khalif Raymond, I think, wins there more consistently when they try to go to man. And to me, I've seen a very heavy man-heavy team on third down. And as much as I like Tim Patrick, I don't think that's Tim Patrick's area to be like he's the go-to. You're trying to figure out who that guy is outside of St. Brown because they're going to want to take him away. It's Khalif Raymond, and he was last time. So I think that's why you got to think for this matchup specifically, it's the perfect piece to get back. If it's last week, maybe it's not the same, but it's perfect for the Vikings.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like you said, a lot of man coverage, a lot of blitzes being sent by that Brian Flores defense. So a speedy, shifty, quick guy like Khalif Raymond that knows this offense like the back of his hand is going to help out Jared Goff. I feel like every year when we go to camp and we see Khalif Raymond out there, we're like, holy shit, this dude is going to ball this year because he's always making plays. Him and Goff have a very good chemistry together, and I think that is just another part of this offense. And like what Easy said, that's another familiar face for Ben Johnson. We're going to see some trick plays in this one. You better believe it. So maybe Khalif Raymond on a double reverse from Jameson Williams, something like that. But I expect him to get involved in the offense. And I appreciate you all getting involved in the chat thread here on Lions Nation Unite. Again, I'm Spencer. He is Easy. We're the Woodward Heavyweights. And Dose of Dion, the legend of Lions YouTube. Appreciate you all tapping in. Chrome, Lansing JP, Bo Booth, Brent DeWitt. All the original suspects, Thomas Fertundi, Lisa's in there. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. Now let's go. Let's look at the game. Let's look at the players that you think are going to have the most impact or you think are going to be the breakout guy. And let's take Jared Goff off the board for the offense because that's not obvious. We can all just say Jared Goff. Jared Goff needs to be Jared Goff in this game if the Lions want to win. Outside of the quarterback, Dion, we'll start with you. Who is your X factor for the Detroit Lions offense?
I always go back, and I don't know that these players will play well, but I hope they do. I always go back to whoever, pretty much the 3 interior guys, because they have to deal with Harrison Phillips. And I always think every time he played this team, he's the most underrated player, because if you're going to try to run the ball, you have to deal with that guy. And when you watch Minnesota, their defensive line is pretty messy outside of that. I mean, they're moving around pieces. They have Grenard. We know they have good edge rushers, Andrew Van Ginkel, but he's not like a pure defensive lineman. So they're kicking guys like Bullard inside. I mean, they're small at times. And they're fast upfield, but what gives everybody a problem, I think, is Phillips, because he does more than what's expected. So he's constantly making plays beyond everything. And I think Frank Ragnow, who's had some real down games this year at times, this is a massive matchup. I mean, it's one of the tougher matchups he has to deal with, and he's going to see him constantly every single play. So I would actually circle Frank Ragnoff for talking about like a player to watch, because I think if he's dominant, the Lions' run game will be dominant, and we all know that's key to slowing down all these blitzing. But if he's not dominant, all of a sudden it puts more on Goff's plate. So I'd circle those interior guys. I know Graham had some up and down last time as well. Now he's back in the mix. So I'm going to go Frank Ragnoff, though, because I think he'll see him the most often.
Easy.
Yeah, I remember being in a conversation with the Packers. People talking about the game we had against them last year, and interior, like just from Packers creators, getting cocky, getting confidence. Like, whoa, that was our backup interior. And for this Viking situation last week or last time we played them, if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Zeitler was out for that one too. So it's like, yeah, these guys need to step up, prove that like what happened last time was a little bit of a fluke. But outside of that, if I'm going like sexy names, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I just think the last time out, he had that big touchdown, beautiful ball by Jared Goff, like one of the best I've probably seen him throw. And another great block by Penei Sewell in that play, by the way, too. That was an insane play altogether. Tim Patrick, too. Anyway, sorry. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I just think he's one of those guys. We know how he operates. It's death by 1,000 cuts. I think he had 8 receptions for like 112 and a tutty last time. I just think that's so deflating for these teams if you get the Detroit Lions in like second and long or third and long, and here's this guy Amon-Ra St. Brown just converting it like clockwork. And I just think I want him to do that. I want him to wear this Vikings defense down. I want him to have Brian Flores second guessing who he's sending on these blitzes every other series and just stall him out. Amon-Ra St. Brown, big one for the Detroit Lions.
Stall him out. I like it. I like it. This guy, again, it's kind of as obvious as Jared Goff, but I'm looking at it for a different reason here, and that is Jahmyr Gibbs. I think, obviously, you want Jahmyr Gibbs to go out there and rush for, 130 yards and be that guy, score a couple touchdowns, which I think he will. I think he's obviously very capable of doing so, but Jahmyr Gibbs, what I need the most out of him today is to kind of, neutralize Brian Flores' blitz scheme. We saw him against the San Francisco 49ers pick up a lot of big blitzes in pass protection. That was something that we were a little worried about when losing David Montgomery, because he is so good at picking up those blitzes. He is so good at taking the free man and just stuffing him so Jared Goff can get the ball out. Jahmyr Gibbs did that very well against the 49ers, and those weren't little hits. Like, they were coming, pause, and Jahmyr Gibbs put his nose in there and stood those guys up. And on top of that, Brian Flores, obviously a very blitz-happy guy. He likes to get a little freaky with his blitz packages. I expect Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield, check downs, slip screens, receiving the ball. I think that's going to be a big factor of this game for him. He needs to just – what is the best way to beat a blitz in the NFL? It's with a screen pass. So you get Jahmyr Gibbs out there in open field, get some of those big uglies in front of him, get him the ball, and let him do some work. So I think Jahmyr Gibbs, not just running the ball, but picking up blitzes and attacking the flats, attacking those soft parts where the blitzers come from. I think that's going to be a big game for Jahmyr Gibbs. Now looking at the other side of the ball for the Detroit Lions. Oh, Dion, you want to say something?
I was going to add to, well, my man was asking about the parlays, to your point. 4.5, I think, is Gibbs over under. And I love that for this game. And then Easy was just like, hey, 8 receptions for St. Brown. I think his over under 7.5. So if you're looking for parlays, he gave a little something there. And by the way, I was laughing a little bit because you were like, yo, what beats the blitz? I thought Easy was going to say something. Easy didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? That made it a little bit awkward. We were just kind of sitting there. We're like, I don't know, dude. What does beat the blitz? But hey, that was a good breakdown. I like what you said, man. I agree. I
feel about those two guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs in this matchup offensively for the Lions.
Yes.
Oh.
Yo, I thought you were asking. But I'll say this. I like Gibbs over. I like Gibbs over in the receiving side. I think that's a perfect number to hit. I think it was laid out well. We went to him a lot early, especially with running backs, and like you pointed out, Monty was the best receiving back in football. So someone's got to do it. He's just going to be on the field. St. Brown, I'm always weird with St. Brown in matchups like this. I mean, I like what you said with 8. I'm always a little bit weird because he's going to see more Byron Murphy, and I think that's their best cornerback. And I don't think it's like him dealing with – I think he'd cook Gilmore if he got that all day long, but I don't think he's going to get that. But I don't know. It's not I'm cool with taking the over. That's what I'll say. It's not like when we face Chicago. I'd roll the over in this one before I did against a team like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think when it comes down to it, game on the line, number 1 seed on the line, NFC North on the line, they're going to be giving the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot. He is the most dependable receiver in the NFL. He's got the best hands in the NFL, and I fully expect them to attack that middle of the field And when those linebackers blitz, when freaky ass Flores goes out there and starts sending these wild blitz packages, you could drop in an Amon-Ra St. Brown or a Sam Laporta or even a Jameson Williams behind those guys on a crossing route going across the field. And that's where I think some of these guys are going to make some money. Before we go to defense, Easy, what do you need to see from Jameson Williams? We didn't mention him in our X Factors. This is a guy that is 33 yards away from getting 1,000 on the season. You know they're going to be trying to get it to him. He had one catch for -4 yards the last time they played the Vikings. What do you need to see out of him in this matchup?
It's a weird conversation for me because like what he does is tough to bring consistently because he's just so explosive. Every time he touches that ball, it feels like he's a threat to score a touchdown. But in these last few weeks, man, he's been getting a lot of looks, and he's been providing those explosive plays as well. Some of them not even on the reception. Some of them are just a pitch and catch from Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, yeah, you know what? X Factor, I think he can be that if I'm going to be, I guess, betting on it. I don't know. But I will take his over. I'll do that for sure. But I guess I don't know if I could ask him to be great. He's just so great every time he touches the ball. I don't think you expect that out of him every single week, but I don't mind expecting it this week, I guess. I can see it. I can see it happening any week. But I'm just not going to, say this guy needs to perform, you know?
What do you need to see out of him, Dion?
I think easy. Well, first off, get 1,000 yards. Let's get there. I mean, that's on the table. You got to go get that. But I would say, like, we've seen it all year now. He's become the guy where it's if you know you get one-on-ones on the outside, you throw it to him. And I think that this is a matchup that's good for him. I mean, I think Stephon Gilmore should have a ton of problems dealing with Jameson Williams. He should on paper. With the way that his route running's taken off this year, it should be a ton of problems. I'm actually more concerned with the matchup when he has to deal with, like, Shaq Griffin, because Griffin will get physical. And if they put a guy over top of it, it's going to be a problem to get to him. He'll take the ball away. But I think Stephon Gilmore, like, if you leave him on an island, I think he should cook that guy. And, I think that, at least based on what we saw last week, we got a lot more of those isolated one-on-ones versus Green Bay. And I think if they come out and they try to present that same thing to us, Jameson Williams would be probably to me, probably the most consistent guy that's just going to be open because he's going to get one-on-ones. Like, there's just going to be no help for him. So, get 1,000 yards. Do that first. But to me, if even if it's not yards, this is could be a 6 reception plus game. I think you can go big in this game.
Yeah. Dean, can I add, because you do those NFC North roundtables, and I know you watch a lot more film than I do too. Blake Cashman, what's your take on him in this game? Is that a big difference maker? Because I know he wasn't there the first time we played him. What's he going to bring this time around that he wasn't there for last time?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys both say on Blake Cashman, because I've heard the same thing, so I know you guys have been hearing it all week. Blake Cashman, hold on. I mean, device guy immediately, shout out to One Bar. Hey, Blake Cashman, it's a different game. We're about to beat y'all by 20 now. It's like, okay, stop, calm down. But no, I mean, look. It's weird because I'm actually not sure it makes as big as an impact as I initially thought. I think he's their best linebacker. I think Ivan Pace will still be on the field a lot, and I know Metellus they kind of use like a linebacker, so if anything, they'll just take Pace out the field because Pace can't cover anybody, and they just blitz him when he's out there. So I think if anything, Cashman just adds more unknown, I think, pre-snap. I think with Pace, he's kind of limited in what he did, and then Metellus is just undersized, but they just use him against the run. But Cashman's got that body type. We know when he was with Houston, he was just a massive blitzer. It fits perfectly for the defense. So to me, he's just going to be playing fast, right? And I just think that he's not a problem necessarily. He doesn't slip blocks a lot, doesn't shed blocks a ton, but it's more so he's just hard to get hands on. But I think when you look at how we attacked this team, and if you look back how Green Bay attacked them, a lot of inside running kind of opened up, which we're not always that team to do that, but they don't have the body types for it. That's why I go back to Harrison Phillips. If you handle Harrison Phillips, they don't have the bodies to deal with any inside runs, right? So Blake Cashman's in that same boat where I just don't think he's going to be able to get off blocks if we can lean on inside runs. It's where he gets dangerous when everything has to start to string, and now he's just playing super fast. That's where I'm at with it. And then, of course, blitzing.
Yeah, I don't see him singularly making this game-changing, difference. He's a good player. He's a solid player. Obviously, their defense is going to be better with him out there, but it's not like they're getting Fred Warner back. It's not like you're getting Roquan Smith back out there. Like, he is a better player than Ivan Pace for sure, but I don't think the gap is as big as Vikings fans are saying it is. But it is another guy you got to account for. It is a guy, like Dion said, he plays very fast, plays sideline to sideline very well. So those outside zones, that's a guy you're going to have to worry about. But when we get a Penei Sewell pulling, when we get a Dan Skipper pulling, I think that's a body that you can eliminate with one of those big uglies out there on the outside making plays. Or Easy, you want to talk about, because I did want to talk about that Penei Sewell stuff that you brought up on heavyweights.
Yeah, I just think it's more nuanced to the defense. I was more curious because I know Dion watched a lot of the film of it, if it's something we should be fearing. But I think he's just another piece of the puzzle for them more than he is the piece for the puzzle. So it is what it is. I'm not really tripping off his return.
Yeah, and Dion, we mentioned it on the Woodward Heavyweights, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Check it out. That Penei Sewell was doing a lot of pulling pre-snap against the 49ers. They were moving him to the left side. They were putting him down there with his hand in the dirt as lined up as a tackle or a tight end or whatever you want to call it. Do you think they were setting something up for the Vikings game by doing that? Because they pull Penei Sewell a lot. Nobody is not privy to that, but it was pre-snap. They're putting him down there, giving him different looks, and it seems like that was Ben Johnson setting up a little maybe play action, maybe a little part of that where he's got the trick plays. Do you buy into anything like that?
I buy into what my man said earlier. Someone told me that Sewell's going to catch a pass. And I'm like, you know what? You might be right. Like, that would make a ton of sense. I do think the one thing that carries over from San Fran to this week, I think especially in the run game, is all of the movement at the line. Like we'll play a little more straightforward. And then you get teams like San Fran or Minnesota that they're pretty light. And it's just like you get a whole bunch of guys slanting. You don't know where they're going to be once you snap the football. So I think if anything, it's just there's a lot of confusion that they create up front. I think both teams can do that, but I thought with what they did with Sewell was, you guys saw it. I mean, you just pointed out the super wide splits. I thought they were making a little bit more clarity and like, okay, we're just going to down block. And if you watch San Fran, they play really deep. Their linebackers play like 6 yards off the ball. So I think for them, it was like, hey, instead of having every lineman flow one direction and try to connect where that's where they're at their best, let's just down block and then just let Sewell run because he's a freakish athlete. So I thought they did a good job kind of simplifying it. But I'll say this to the run game. The last few weeks, you guys have probably seen it too. We've seen it in the results. The run games have taken off. Like, there was a stretch there where I was like, okay, the run game might be getting a little basic. And all of a sudden, it was like, nope, no, it's not. It's about to get crazy again. And they've taken off the last few weeks. So I'm optimistic about that just in general, is that the plans the last few weeks have been very unique.
Easy, what do you think about Penei Sewell catching a pass in this one? Because the pass he caught for the first time was against the Vikings last year, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And he had one of the sickest stiff arms. He slapped one of them in the face.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With me. What is wrong with you? But he even threw like one of those reverses or a fake reverse last week too. Like they were, he might catch a pass, he might throw a pass. We've seen what they try to do against the Chicago Bears as well. Like they're definitely setting something up, and I think it is because they've done it before against the Minnesota Vikings. And you kind of just Ben Johnson, he just operates that way, man. He'll put stuff on tape weeks ahead, just knowing that defensive scheme from this team is similar or whatever it is to get in the mind of these defensive coordinators, keeping them up at night. And it's just, Penei Sewell catch. Why not? What do you think is more likely, actually, boys? The catch or the throw?
Catch. Yeah. I would say if I had to bet on it, I would say catch.
Or run. On that little run as well.
Hey, they probably do want to let him throw it, though, after how last time went down, because you can't sack the dude. So it's like, hey, at worst, he's going to throw it somewhere. Like, it's going to be hard to sack him.
Khalif Raymond back. You got that island-to-island connection.
Well, I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said Khalif Raymond back. You could have that island-to-island connection there.
Yeah. Oh, that bad. And again, they blitzing up people where someone might be open down there. Like, fuck it. Khalif down there somewhere. Yep. Island boy connection.
I just want to see Penei Sewell score a touchdown so bad. Like, I would. That would make my life if Penei Sewell scored a game-winning touchdown against the Vikings, or not even game-winning, but just part of the game-winning touchdowns. That would be awesome. And shout out to everybody in the chat here. Again, this is Lions Nation Unite. I am Spencer Raxter. He is SpeakEZ. We are the Woodward Heavyweights, and of course, the man who needs no introduction, the Godfather, the GOAT of Lions, YouTube, dose of Dion. So appreciate everybody. Grim, Keitho, Thomas Rotundi, Funny Boy Roddy, Super Bowl Wilson, Silent Service, everybody in the chat, we appreciate you. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to Lions Nation Unite. But now let's go to the other side of the ball. Too. Oh, yeah. Get your Vikings Suck shirt. LionsNationUnite.com. You can go get tons of merch for you to choose from. You can order the Vikings Suck shirt. They got Packers Suck, Bears Suck, Kings of the North, Sonic and Knuckles line. You got a Seek and Destroy line. Whatever you need, you can get it at LionsNationUnite.com. It's some great merch. It truly is. But we're talking about offensive X factors and the offensive expectations. Let's go to the other side of the ball. This is where I'm worried. This is where people are worried, because I don't think anybody has any questions about this offense and what they're going to do. But the defense, with the injuries, has looked like they've been playing a bunch of backups out there these past couple weeks. And now you're getting Anzalone back, which is huge. But who is your X factor on the defensive side of the ball? Easy, we'll go with you first.
It's tough, obviously, because defense almost been non-existent for these guys. But
oh boy,
I'm gonna put it out there, man. Zadarius Smith, he's got a sack incentive out there on the table. He's got to go get. He's a former Minnesota Viking himself. He tortured us in the purple. It's time to torture those guys back in Honolulu Blue. Zadarius Smith, I really need him to step up for this one. I think a place to watch him would be the interior of the defensive line on those 3rd and longs. They like to put him there often, or maybe possibly in the stunt. But Zadarius Smith, for me, we need to get some pressure on Sam Darnold because I guess that's something they haven't been great at is keeping him upright, protecting him, keeping guys out of his face. So Zadarius Smith, step up.
Dion, how you feeling about Zadarius?
He's trash. Shouldn't trade for him. No, man. I forgot. Honestly, he's played with a lot of these teams, man. I forgot that he played for the Vikings, and then he didn't play him last time. So I like that one, especially now with Cam Robinson. That's a big downgrade. Like it doesn't maybe show up. First off, Sam Darnold's been awesome, this season. So like he's hit a lot of stuff, especially with pressure. He's been outstanding. His numbers are fantastic there. He just doesn't get sacked much at all. Even I was going through my notes from last time he played his team. Like, dude, it's hard to get sacks against this guy. So yeah, Zadarius Smith has good matchups. I'll say that the whole offensive line I don't think is that good for Minnesota. I think Brian O'Neill's shaky at right tackle. I think Brandell's pretty terrible. Ed Ingram's not great at guard. I think their entire offensive line is shaky, but they hide it really well, and I think Sam Darnold has a lot to do with that. So when you were talking about player to watch, I was thinking Levi, but I actually go, and I don't want to steal players, so I'm not going to try to name every player here, but I'm going to go Iffy. I go Iffy Melifonwu because that's the big change, I think, from last time. Like, outside of having Zadarius now, When last time we played this team, you had Branch at safety. We know we had a pick that was massive. Now you put Iffy in that spot, and Branch has to come down. I think the guy that gets most involved becomes Iffy because there's so many of the route concepts are, you guys know, right behind backers, right? Jefferson, Addison, and you have to bracket everything because nobody wants to just play them straight up with one deep safety. So all of a sudden, Iffy's got to be the guy that's like, okay, can you settle down a little bit here? Can you pass off the route and get us a pick? I think he's the spot, but he also has the benefit over Branch. He's 6 foot, like 100. I mean, that guy is like a whole foot taller than Brian Branch, and that's more of an issue trying to throw over that guy than to throw over Branch if they're in the same spot. So for me, I think Iffy's the guy that if you were looking for props, I'd bet an Iffy interception if you can find one.
Yeah, and I love that. That was going to be mine. Was Iffy Melifonwu because no, you're fine. you look at what the hell, Dion? Jeez. No. When you look at what we did against Sam Darnold in that, what we did against Sam Darnold in that first game, you sacked him 4 times. 3 of those 4 sacks were from linebackers on blitzes. And we know that Iffy is very good when it comes to blitzing the quarterback. We know Aaron Glenn likes to use him to blitz the quarterback a lot. We've seen it in the past couple games that he's been back. He's already gotten in that backfield, created some pressure. So I expect them to send Iffy Melifonwu a lot, and I think he's going to get Sam Darnold to the ground once in this game because he does like playing against the Vikings. But if you take Iffy, easy took Zadarius, I got to go with my guy. I got to go with Kerbert Joseph III. Like this guy, Kirby Joseph, now – talk about petty. He's known to be petty. You saw the F. Stafford post. Like, this guy is petty for a reason. And now the NFL, these players, these coaches gave him another reason to go out there and prove why he's the best safety in the NFL. They gave him another reason to go out there and prove why he's going to be a first-team All-Pro by leaving him off that Pro Bowl list. I know the Pro Bowl doesn't matter. I know he says he doesn't care about it, but he's saying what he has to say for the media. The guy lost out on $3 million because he wasn't selected to the Pro Bowl, which was an obvious choice of all obvious choices. So I expect Kirby Joseph to get his hands on a ball. I think Kirby Joseph has an interception in this one. I expect him to go out there, be playing like a madman, and I just love the guy, man. I feel bad for him because that's $3 million. That's not a $150,000 incentive. That's $3 million he lost out on. He's gonna be angry after that.
Yeah. And hopefully he gets that in an extension this year because he's been absolutely phenomenal. But I'm with you on that one. Kerbert Joseph III has to step up in this one. Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson, they lead the league in deep passes, completions, touchdowns, and yards. And this is a gentleman we know back when he was in that Jets green once said he sees ghosts. Well, Kirby Joseph, make him see them ghosts. Make him second-guess those opportunities to send a deep ball to Justin Jefferson and grab at least one of them. And early, too.
Wait, time out.
What?
Did Branch not make the Pro Bowl either? He didn't.
Branch
he didn't
did.
Right?
He did.
He did make Pro Bowl? Okay.
Because they take 2 strong safeties and only 1 free safety for some reason.
Okay. That's why it threw me off, because that didn't make any sense. I don't know why it was 1 free. That threw me off completely, because then I'm like, if anything, Kirby should be the guy going. I love Branch, but Kirby should go, not Branch. Yeah. I mean, I don't. It's whatever. All right.
Yeah, no disrespect to Branch, but yeah.
No, Branch.
That's probably my second defender too. We're talking about guys, X factors in this game. Brian Branch, almost like the same conversations you had with Fonto Melifonwu apply to Brian Branch. He even picked off our guy Sam Darnold last time out. I just think, though, I'll be honest with you, I think if he's more effective in the blitz, but Branch is also just a little bit of a wild card. You just don't know where he's going to be. You don't know what his assignment is. And he plays a run extremely well, too. Brian Branch can be a big one for the Detroit Lions today, too.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Branch, he's a game wrecker. That is a guy that literally, as a rookie, one of the best offensive minds in the NFL said, we changed our game plan to try to keep him off the field as much as possible in the NFC Championship game. That was Kyle Shanahan. So I expect Brian Branch to be flying around the field. Another guy I'm looking at on defense to step up is Jack Campbell. I think he's going to have a lot more freedom now with Anzalone back. They're going to allow him to do a couple different things. You have Anzalone in that back end for some coverage reasons, so it's going to free Jack Campbell up to get to the quarterback to send him on blitzes. He's already shown an aptitude for doing that. He's gotten a few sacks in his career on blitzes, and like I said, when we sacked Sam Darnold 4 times in that first matchup, 3 of them were from linebackers. So I expect Jack Campbell to get in there and to create some havoc. He's a big, corn-fed psychopath, and I think you should send that guy around the ball as much as you can.
That's a good stat. That's a good stat. I'm a little disappointed.
Oh, we lost your mic. Is he back?
Wait, hold on.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I kind of hear you. It'd be fun right now if you tell us your third player and we try to guess what it is. Unless we can hear you.
Stanley.
Thomas.
Stanley.
Oliver.
Stanley, Tom, like Marvel guy? Stanley Johnson from the Pistons?
Why is everybody talking about Stanley Johnson now?
I don't know.
Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
What happened?
This dang mic, bro. Yeah.
I think it was Carlton Davis, Ray Floyd.
I had to switch.
Dion was putting stuff in other stuff, and then it got stuck. And
It's crazy.
that was Mike's not working.
Last night, Darnold put the league on notice. No. Not really. He surprised us.
Surprised us for sure.
He's definitely a pleasant surprise for you guys.
Ray Floyd says, I miss Carlton Davis. That's a big – Carlton Davis is playing at a Pro Bowl level. Some might say all-pro. And Terion Arnold has had to step up, and he got cooked in that last game against Ricky Pearsall. And you're not going up against Ricky Pearsall in this one. You're going up against Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So, Dion, what do you need to see out of the rookie Terion Arnold in this one?
Would you make
Ricky Pearsall's better than those two. Yeah, I mean he's talking. He already knows what time it is. He's like Ricky Pearsall's better than Jefferson, which I think he's right on. Look, man, I think Terion's big issue is he's so young that like every time I feel like when you have games like that, I think so much of it is like what's happening before the ball's even snapped. I mean, the getting bumped against Brian Branch was just like dude, you got to have some awareness, man. Like, you got to give him some room, and he just runs. So I feel like, if anything, Minnesota's going to do that. Minnesota's going to try to put him in spots where he has to constantly move around. But honestly, I don't know how often he's going to find that position, like where he's on an island, he's got to go chase somebody around, and he gets stacked up, because I just don't think that we're going to play that enough of that coverage against this team. But I will say Terion's arguably best game was against Minnesota this year. And not having Carlton is awful, because I think he's a great matchup for Jefferson. There's really no way it's a good matchup, but I think he's a really good matchup for him. But Terion played really well. So I don't think it'll change a ton, because I still look at
I think he doesn't mess with us.
No, I don't. Wait, is it working?
The most important key piece of this game, without a doubt, gentlemen, everyone knows it's that's the stuff Dion be doing.
Yeah, I think if I had to put my reputation on the line, if I had to put who I am, my job on the line, I would say the most important part of this game would be
Yeah.
So I just think that it's gotta be done.
Pull the mortgage payment and put it all on.
Yep.
You know.
Why am I getting muted for this? What is happening, dude? All right, hold
Now
on.
it just sounds like you're in a box.
It does say that. Now it sounds like you're underwater.
Poor guy. Spinny, what are your expectations for Terion today, man?
He's gonna need to bring it. Like he's gonna get beat. You know, that's just the nature of the business. It's the nature of the position. It's the nature of who you're going up against. Is there are going to be times when Terion Arnold gets beat, but he needs to do what he did in that first game. They held Justin Jefferson to 82 yards in their first matchup. That's probably not going to happen again. I hope it does, but good luck with that. Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in football. So he is going to need to not grab. I don't want him getting lost out there. And I want him to tackle. And that's all, because if you get beat by Justin Jefferson, you get beat by Justin Jefferson. Nobody's going to hold that against you. Like I said, he's the best wide receiver in football. But don't grab. Don't let him break tackles. When he gets the ball, if he catches it, you tackle him, you get him on the ground, and don't get lost in coverage. And if you do that, no matter the results of what happens, I'll accept it.
Dion, what was the key to his success last time out? Like, why was he so successful? Was it him? Was it bracket coverage? In your opinion, what helped Terion out?
I want to answer that, but I did just see. I don't know if y'all saw it. Teams are eyeing a trade for Vikings head coach because I guess it's the last year of his deal. That'd be some crazy work.
All that on Bleacher Report. They're not.
There's no way they let that happen.
Yeah,
That'd be insane.
I
I'm
saw
here for
that,
it.
and I was like, it's got to be for a player. And then it took forever to load, and so I just let it go. There's no way in hell.
If Ben
the
dips,
Minnesota Vikings
if Ben
trade away
dips,
a guy that's made 3 different quarterbacks kind of work in that system. And I'm including Joshua Dobbs. I know obviously the thing came to an end, but like they won a few games last year with him too. That guy is Kevin O'Connell's. You might win Coach of the Year. This game is also for Coach of the Year, gentlemen.
Yep.
yeah, I think it's just the aspect of they didn't put him in. I don't think they put him in a lot of tough spots. I don't think they create a lot of confusion, mistakes. They typically have emotion before the snap, but to me, it's just more so to kind of get a clarification of what they're seeing, and then they roll into it. Like,
Yeah.
if it's a third down, they usually bunch up their receivers, right, and then they go high low, high low. I mean, they kind of do the same things over and over. It feels like, and I don't think when he gets matched up with a guy that isn't Jefferson, when he gets matched up on Addison or Naylor out wide 1-on-1, I don't think that's a problem for him. So I think that's what he's typically going to see. I think there's going to be more zone coverage than usual in this game. He's just going to try to keep everything in front of him. I think it's more so of the scheme as a whole that works for him well against this team. I don't know where y'all are with that, but I think it works well because clearly these receivers are better than games that he's been bad in.
Yeah. To be honest, they should trade Kevin O'Connell too. That's actually a great move for the organization.
Yeah, I think that would be their best choice.
Yeah.
And then trade McCarthy.
What team is calling to trade for Kevin O'Connell?
The Jets.
Every team.
Every team. Yeah.
Every team. I mean, Kevin O'Connell's one of the best coaches in the NFL, but the Vikings still suck. So if you want to get some good merch, make sure you go to LionsNationUnite.com. A ton of merch. Vikings suck, Packers suck, Bears suck, Kings of the North, Next Man Up, Sonic and Knuckles, whatever you need, go check it out at LionsNationUnite.com. Again, I am Spencer. He is Easy. We're the Woodward Heavyweights, and you guys know Dose of Dion. Everybody knows Dose of Dion. He's the legend of Lions YouTube. But looking at this matchup, guys, what is the one thing that concerns you the most with the Minnesota Vikings? What is the one thing that you're like, okay, if this happens, then I'm going to get a little worried? Also, wait, Dion, are you wearing a Wizards shirt? Is that a Washington Wizards shirt?
Oh, dude. Yeah, he told me this last time we hung out, and I was kind of disgusted. I got mad at him, honestly.
Are you a Wizards guy?
Yes, he is.
Hey, look good though. What? They hooked me up though. You know what I mean? This look good though. I got this yesterday.
They hooked you up?
No, they didn't hook me up. I got hooked up though. I got this yesterday. They didn't hook me up. They should though. Their tickets for like $6. I mean, well, it doesn't hurt anything. You're not making any money. Look, man, it's a good shirt. It's a good shirt. Y'all want one?
Terrible.
Pistons
Hey, this
playing
is doing
well.
good. I got no hate for the Pistons. I'm just
they playing
look.
well?
We've won 6 Wizards. Hey, we've won 6 games this year. All right, we've won like 2 of our last 3. So all I'm saying is,
That's right.
watch out. That's all I'm saying. A lot of people understand that this is we're going like this. Okay, we're not going like this. We're going like this. We're going like this. We beat the same 2 bad teams over and over. We lose to everybody else, easy, but hey, we beat those 2 teams. So, consistency. That's what it is.
How's Sarr doing?
Good. Come on, man. He's been better. He's been way better, you know? That's a matchup problem. Spenmo Rax knows that. He knows that's a matchup problem. He's been doing some good prop parlays for you, huh? He got a lot of blocks in there. He gets about 3 a game. Quick 3-piece.
17 he went his first preseason game.
All right.
Like, oh.
Who?
All right. The one thing.
How's Tim Hardaway doing? I'm just curious.
All right. It starts with one.
I'm actually curious.
One thing.
I don't know why.
It doesn't even matter how hard you try. That's literally what I was doing.
All right, what is one thing?
That is not just mine to explain in due time. Oh,
try so hard, got so far.
That's
in
what
the end,
in the end, it doesn't even matter. They just suck either way. I don't think Dion even knows that song. He's too young.
I know the song.
Try so hard, got so far. All right, what is the one thing you're worried about this Minnesota Vikings team?
Hey, what was? Man. You can go first.
Gotta be real, bro. It's Sam Darnold.
All right, you go first. Easy doesn't know.
It's Sam Darnold.
You go first.
I just he's a good quarterback, man. He's been a really good quarterback this year. I think he's developed. I said this in our show too. Like I think he's developed as the season's gone on. He's gotten better. He's taken more risk with the ball and like measured risk too, because like when you're weaving it up to freaking Justin Jefferson, that's not like a dumb decision. That's a play that guy can make. So I think he's really gotten just more comfortable and more confident last week when he was just using Speedy Naylor over Addison, over Jefferson. I hated that because that just means he's hitting the open guy. Like he makes me a little bit nervous, and I think we got to rattle him, make him see those ghosts if you want to win this game.
I think the thing that concerns me most, it's first down passing. I don't know what it's going to look like. To me, that's what got us into trouble. I mean, and you can throw flags in there. Don't do that anymore because we had some terrible plays against San Fran. I mean, a lot of them were on defense, but I don't know what that's going to look like. Like, I think we're talking about the run game a lot, as we should. We all expect them to run the football. We all know that's the way that we throw them off of who they are. But the problem is, what if that's not there? What if it's not consistent? What if Phillips is blowing everything up, right? We're averaging 2.5 a pop and it's halftime. Like, what does the first down passing look like? Because I just didn't think there was early in that game, it was a lot of 3 yards, 4 yards sack. And it was like, this isn't great. So where do we find answers when we're in those spots? I think is going to be the biggest thing. On downs where everything's available to you, what's consistent? What's efficient for them? I know Spencer pointed out kind of the running backs in the pass game. That was kind of our answer. So I want to figure out, can we get something beyond that opens up, that it's not a 2nd and 2, so everything's open down the field? How can we open things up on first down? That's my big concern, because I think we fall behind the chains against this team. They have pass rushers. They're not really built that stout, but they do have guys that can win, and that'll come to life if we're not good on first down. So I'd say first down passing, because I think outside of that, we know what we're going to get from the offense, to me.
I agree. I think one thing for me that concerns me when I look at the Minnesota Vikings team, obviously Justin Jefferson, you could say that till you're blue in the face. That guy's a freak. But I look at TJ Hockenson being back in this game. You know, we know TJ Hockenson at a personal level. Like the guy is a damn good tight end. When he's healthy, he's a top 5 tight end in the NFL. So this is a guy that you're going to have to key in on. And especially with Anzalone coming back, that's going to be a big help, because we saw George Kittle get loose against us. We saw Tucker Kraft have a good game against us. So with Anzalone coming back, that'll be huge, because he is one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. But TJ Hockenson, you can't just allow him to get open in the middle of the field, to sit down in there and give Sam Darnold easy completions and easy first downs. So I think whoever it is, whether it be Ife Melifonwu or Brian Branch or Anzalone that's matched up against TJ Hockenson, I think that is an important person that you need to take out of this game, because Justin Jefferson's going to get his. Addison's going to do his thing. Hockenson needs to be a guy that you shut down, so that's not a third option they can have in that passing attack.
I'm with that. Yeah, because I think that's where Darnold gets into trouble, is to the whole seeing ghost. Like when he does throw interceptions, he forces it to one of the two. Usually Jefferson. He just forces it. And it's like, that wasn't really open, dude. But he's like, I'm still throwing it. And then he gets away from the checkdowns. He doesn't even look at him. He's like, I'm throwing the ball down the field. So I think that's a great point, because I think if anything, the spot that it's not a great spot to have them taking deep pass plays. Like if they're cooking you on those, you're probably in trouble. But if I have to make him live in that world and we're able to keep too deep because of that, he's going to give me one at some point. I assume he's going to throw a pick at some point. He's going to throw it over a guy's head. He throws really high over the middle of the field. So I think at some point you expect with our safeties, we're going to take one away.
Yeah, 100%. Like when I look at that, there's an important factor of that too, and it's with Sam Darnold when he. But you know, you got to make sure he pays for that. You got to make sure. No, we had one bar on the Woodward Heavyweights this week, and he talked about Sam Darnold still having those cousin tendencies. Like he still has at least one throw a game. Like it's like the Green Goblin mask talking to him, like throw it 10 feet over your receiver's head over the middle. Like it's still things like that. And we saw Herbert Joseph III Esquire take advantage of Brock Purdy making some bad throws over the middle and get those 2 interceptions. So that's I think Kirby's gonna get one off Sammy in this game. I think. And he might return it. I kind of want to call him pick 6, but I'm not. I'll just say an interception.
This is crazy.
Sam Darnold might be a problem, though, there. I mean, if you're trying to return an interception like Darnold, is that the guy you want to, like, run up on? Or is it, you know, because, like, hey, if it's Mac Jones, you're running that guy over. Like, you don't even you can make him, you got a lot of options. But with Darnold, that's kind of like that's a build-do right there. What would be your strategy? If you're running, hey, bro, you got a lot of space.
Yeah, it's over. I ain't worried about no Sam Darnold. What are you talking about right now?
All right. Hey, run it up, Sam Darnold. You know what I mean?
I'm running it right into his big ass forehead.
You'll gravity do the rest at that point.
Targeting on offense is crazy. That's goes great for the helmet, dude.
Oh, I'll go right at him. Right at him. I'd be more worried about I don't even know. Justin Jefferson hawking you.
The ball and calling ISO.
Just Jefferson's hawking behind. You got Darnold in front, bro. This is a bad day. It's a bad day, man. You do slide. Hold on. Now that I'm really thinking about it, if I pick it off, I might be sliding.
I want a rivalry between quarterback and DB.
I'm not sliding, dude. No chance.
Hey, you saw the Packers fumble. They picked it off and fumbled. Y'all saw that. Y'all were like, wait a minute. Did they just, like, because we were all hoping that this dude fumbled. Man, I was about to
listen, this isn't Kirby's first time, getting an interception. Man's got 9 of them things. So I expect him to be able to and, I said he was going to lead the NFL with 10 interceptions this year, and I was called a madman. So I need Herbert to go out there and give me one more.
Mad Reed.
You did call him Mad Reed. But this is an insane game. This is 2 14-win teams going to battle against all odds for the number 1 seed in the NFC, for the NFC North title, and like Easy said, for probably Coach of the Year. So before we get out of here, let's just do some predictions. How do you see this game ending up? And what do you see the Lions doing to win? And we'll start with you, Dion. Give me your score total and how this game is going to break down.
Yeah, I think the big thing is our defense is going to be better than what I think a lot of the expectation is. And I think it's an amazing spot to be in. Like, I'm excited for that because I don't think anybody's expecting anything. I think the expectation is we're going to give up 40 points. They're probably not going to punt in this game. It'll be like one of them Seattle games of the past, and we're going to have to find a way to win the 45-48. Like, I think that's the thought. I don't think it's going to play out that way. I think we're going to get 3 to 4 stops in this game. I think we're going to get a turnover in this game. So I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring from that side, and my excitement there is that if it happens early, I think this could easily flip into what happened last game. Like what happened to us, we fell down 10-0. That's what the Vikings have done all year. That's still a story. I mean, the Vikings don't play from behind much at all. And now, give them credit, they came back. They took the lead against us, the goofy fumble that really made it a game, but we held them to field goals over and over. So my biggest thing is like, okay, are we getting off the field in 3rd down? Are we holding the field goals like we did last time? Because, last time that was everything. Trevor Nowaski was making some big plays there. But I think we're going to get stops on this team. I think it's lower scoring for them. I think they'll put up 27, maybe like a late touchdown. And I think we'll score 31. I think it'll be like 31-20. Late in the game, they score a touchdown, go onside, they don't get it, and the game's over. That's kind of where I'm at.
I like it. Easy. What do you got?
Completely biased. Go take my Lions here. I survived this week for this moment, so I'm going to go 34-31. And I got it as a late surge comeback by the Vikings to make it that 31. Not like it's even with us because, they're not on par with us. We're the king of the North. To the Minnesota Vikings and Detroit Lions. Let's go. One prize.
He actually did spit. That's crazy.
Bro's trying to huck to us some Vikings. That's pretty crazy. I see my guy Brent DeWitt in the not the Woodward Sports chat, in the Lions Nation Unite chat. He's got my exact score prediction. I think it's going to be 41-34 Lions. I think we take care of business. Get up early, and then like both of you guys said, the Vikings kind of score a late touchdown to get it closer to what it should be. But 41-34, I like that because Dion, I respect your faith in the defense. I truly do.
Yeah.
But I need to see them get some pressures before I'm going to believe it. Like, they haven't been able to get to quarterbacks here recently. And if you can't get to Sam Darnold, he's proven this year he's going to sit back there. He's going to pick you apart. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But the Lions kind of that third quarter, I think, is where they're going to make their money. I know we have the best scoring differential in NFL history in the second quarter. But I think in the third quarter, we saw – Aaron Glenn and this banged-up defense the past couple weeks has made a lot of second-half adjustments. We saw them make those adjustments against the 49ers, held them to a couple field goals, obviously with the interceptions that kind of broke that game open. So I think the second-half adjustments are going to be big. The Lions get off to a good lead in the third quarter, and then the Vikings score to kind of make it close. 41-34 Lions win.
Yeah, well, real quick, the thing you're missing.
I agree. I agree. They're not going to win unless they.
Yeah.
Yo, if the whole show was like this, imagine clipping these segments and posting them.
My core prediction is. So.
Yeah.
Just turn the captions on, bro.
The Detroit Lions will not win this game unless. So. Just take that with a grain of salt. Now, we appreciate you all tapping in. This is Lions Nation Unite. I am Spencer Raxter. He is SpeakEZ. We're the Woodward Heavyweights. And, of course, Dose of Dion as well with us. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. You got some guilt-free football to watch all day, but the battle for the NFC number 1 seed, the battle for the NFC North, and the battle for Coach of the Year comes down to Sunday Night Football. I'm extremely excited for it. And shout out to Sailor Outlaw George Ishak. Says new subscriber. Appreciate y'all. And Lions are winning this. Vikings suck. Go get your merch at LionsNationUnite.com. It's going to be a great game. Two very good teams going after it. It's going to be fun to watch. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure you smash that like button, and we'll see you guys next time on Lions Nation Unite. Peace.